Hi dear friends and subscribers, this is your host Ram welcoming you to this Monday edition of the Cricket Happening Show. Well, in this part of the Cricket Happening Show, yesterday I definitely I just did a short, like a brief preview about West Indies prospects against New Zealand. So as you know, now the first Test match is going to start on December the 3rd, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a preview of the New Zealand versus West Indies, the first Test match that is going to be played at the University Oval here in Dunedin. So West Indies, well, I have spoken about it. So what I'm going to do, instead of starting up with West Indies, I'm going to start off with New Zealand here. Now for New Zealand, the one thing that we have seen here is that there is a return for a little known batsman. I mean, as you know, Kane Williamson, unfortunately due to injury, is going to miss this Test match, which is pretty unfortunate because he's one of those talented blokes from New Zealand. And what we are going to see here is that there is a call for Aaron Redmond. Now Aaron Redmond is an opening batsman, and I'm told he has been scoring pretty heavily in the domestic tourneys here in New Zealand. And what the New Zealand cricket selectors have done is they have actually given a chance to Aaron Redmond to return back to the Test fold. As you know, he has already made his debut, and right now Aaron Redmond has been given an opportunity. He is the one who's going to replace Kane Williamson. So that is the news as far as New Zealand is concerned. So how that is going to happen, one does not know. Whether Aaron Redmond is going to open with Hamish Rutherford. Now Hamish Rutherford, if one looks at it, now Aaron Redmond is coming to international cricket after a gap of 5 years, but because of Kane Williamson's broken thumb, Aaron Redmond is going to bat. So Aaron Redmond won't open the innings. What he would do is he would be probably batting one drop. But let's look at the openers from New Zealand. As far as the New Zealand openers are concerned, Hamish Rutherford. Now Hamish Rutherford and Peter Fulton should obviously open the batting for New Zealand, but Hamish Rutherford, if you have seen, he has been struggling after that 171 that he made on his wonderful debut against England. He has been really struggling. He struggled on the South African pitches, he struggled with the spin in Bangladesh, and there are some questions raised. But now Hamish Rutherford, now one good thing that we are going to see here is that Hamish Rutherford is going to play in front of his home crowd, on his home pitches, and he pretty much knows how the New Zealand wickets are, and it's very easy for a person who has stayed in that particular country to really adjust himself. So Hamish Rutherford would be looking forward to an opportunity here against the West Indies to get into some great form here. And let me tell you, he's one of those talented blokes. He likes to really drill the ball through the offside. He's absolutely, he personifies the offside strokes, and he basically favorites the offside strokes. Peter Fulton, well, he did well against England, but we have seen that Peter Fulton has not been pretty consistent. Now that is what New Zealand would require. So Hamish Rutherford and Peter Fulton at the top of the order, Aaron Redmond coming in as one drop, and then the most experienced New Zealand players, Ross Taylor. What a wonderful Test player he is, and if he gets going, it's only a matter of Ross Taylor really hitting his straps. If he does not hit his straps, that's the problem for New Zealand, because Ross Taylor and Brendan McCullum, the captain, are one of those two persons who are very experienced in New Zealand cricket, and I'm sure they are the ones who have to really, if at all New Zealand have to go and notch up some huge scores, they are definitely looking up for some substantial contributions from Ross Taylor and Brendan McCullum, the captain of the New Zealand cricket team. And as you know, Brendan McCullum is a wonderful captain. After he has taken over the reins, New Zealand have been doing pretty well, and Brendan McCullum, absolutely a very intelligent captain. He knows to make his moves. Now let's look at the bowling of New Zealand. Now bowling of New Zealand, according to me, compared to West Indies, is looking extremely strong. Tim Southee, he has that ability to get the breakthroughs. Trent Bolt, with his wonderful pace bowling where he swings the ball at the tremendous pace, would be a real difficult proposition for the West Indian batsmen, who probably have, if you have seen against in India, they really struggle with their foot movement, and that was what the commentators were really pointing it out. Now that is something that New Zealand, West Indies batsmen have to really guard against, and I'm sure they would have learned their lessons, and probably we are looking out for a very improved performance from this very crippled West Indian cricket team. Let's look at the bowling. As far as the pace department is concerned, will be manned by Tim Southey, Trent Boult, Corey Anderson, the all-rounder, will also be bowling. He's a left-arm pace bowler, and then we look at the wicketkeeper, Brian Watling, the wicketkeeper batsman. And as far as the spin is concerned, now Ish Sodhi is a right-arm leg spinner. He has already made his debut, and what is more important is that Ish Sodhi is not only a person. They have some two good solid all-rounders in this New Zealand cricket team, and one is Ish Sodhi, who is a hard hitter of the ball. He bowls very good leg spin. He can also play the waiting game. One has seen that one has seen him do that in the past against Bangladesh. So he already has a maiden 50 to his name. So Ish Sodhi, the right-arm leg spinner, as you know, West Indies. Now the problem for West Indies is the spin is something which West Indies have never taken to it in the right manner. They've always struggled with their technique against spin bowling, and Ish Sodhi probably would be fancying his chances against the West Indies batsmen. So for New Zealand, I think it's looking pretty strong. As I've already mentioned yesterday, for me, West Indies and New Zealand are looking pretty hot favourites in this particular series against the West Indies. Though for the only reason that West Indies are absolutely crippled. In fact, one thing that I missed on yesterday was to tell you that the pace attack is an absolute new attack for West Indies, because there is no Kemar Roach, there is no Ravi Rampal. Now Ravi Rampal is one which I exactly missed on yesterday. Now Ravi Rampal, you know what an improved bowler he is. He can really bowl a good line. He can test the batsman, and he also gets wickets. And now you can call Ravi Rampal a match winner now, because he has done some splendid things for the West Indies of late. And well, it's very sad that West Indies are going to miss the pace attack of Ravi Rampal and Kemar Roach, who also bowls with bowls express pace. And then they have to rely now on Tino Best. Now Tino Best is the one who is going to be their main pace bowler to go to, and he has to deliver the goods. That is very important. Shannon Gabriel probably played 2 or 3 test matches. As I said, it's not something that you can't expect more from him. He also played in Mumbai, as you remember, against India. And then they have Darren Sammy, the captain of the team, who has to really probably Darren Sammy has a big job to do, especially considering the fact that West Indies are crippled in the pace department. And then the spinners. The spinners is something that I think if at all West Indies have an opportunity to upset New Zealand, the only reason would be that the spin of Shane Shillingford was already proved in the past that he has been he's so used to taking 5-wicket hauls in test matches. Now that is what is very important. So Shane Shillingford has to bring that, and one only hopes that everything goes well for the West Indies spinners. Then they have Narsingh Dhanarine, the off spinner. Narsingh Dhanarine, one would remember, took Sachin Tendulkar's wicket in his last test match. So Narsingh Dhanarine also already gone down in history along with Sachin Tendulkar, as you know, in the Mumbai at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. He already has his name etched into the history books because of taking the wicket of Sachin Tendulkar when he dismissed him for 74. And then as far as the other spinners are concerned, they have Marlon Samuels, who will be bowling as right-arm office. And then the wicketkeeper Dinesh Ramadhin. But again, West Indies also, if you look at their batting, the batting is also not looking strong. Now, for me, it is a real riddle. If whether Dwayne Bravo didn't make it to India, and once again we see that there is no Dwayne Bravo in the West Indies team. I'm absolutely at a loss to understand why Dwayne Bravo is not been playing. That is something that one really fails to understand. And this is a very tough tour. So it makes that more difficult. But well, there are youngsters who are pretty talented in the West Indies. We have seen Kieran Powell do a good job in India. He would be partnered by Kirk Edwards. Now Kirk Edwards already has test centuries under his belt, so he would be raring to go. and Kirk Edwards also a very good batsman. We saw he got a century against England too. And then we have those classic left-hander Darren Bravo coming in. Marlon Samuels, what to call another classy batsman from West Indies. So if at all West Indies have to make a real fist of it against New Zealand in the Test series, according to me, this is the pair which has to shine. It all depends. The bulwark has to be done by Darren Bravo, Marlon Samuels, Shivnarayan Chandrapal, and also Darren Sammy, the captain, because of the reason that West Indies are absolutely crippled in this Test series with lots of injuries. Well, as I said, Chris Gayle, the dasher smasher, is not there in the West Indies cricket team, so that really cripples them to a great deal. And as I said, the University Oval, well, one has to see what really is in store, because in the past what we have seen at the University Oval in Dunedin is that we have seen some big matches, a lot of big scores being put up, especially considering the fact that the flat pitches always favored the batsman at the University Oval in Dunedin. But whether that is going to be the case, or whether we are going to have a change of I mean, one does not know. It's quite a long time since matches have been played in at the University Oval in Dunedin, but I'm told there should be some life in the pitch because the groundsman has actually left some grass on the pitch, and basically the healthy covering of grass has been left. That's what the information says, because basically they feel that probably New Zealand have already sussed up things. Even though West Indies is crippled, they don't want to take any chances. They don't want to take anything for granted, and I think that's the right way to go for New Zealand. So what they have done is they have ensured that some grass is left on the pitch, so that the West Indies spinners really don't come into full gear when they are bowling against New Zealand. And I'm told that's good. It's a very good forecast as far as the Test match is concerned. So we should have a full house there, and also we should have the game going the whole hog. So that's very interesting. That's a very interesting piece of information. That rain is not going to follow them. As you know, New Zealand really struggled in Bangladesh, where rain kept on following them. So that is as far. So we are waiting for that first Test match to start. As I said, it kicks off at the University Oval in Dunedin, the first Test match between New Zealand and West Indies. And as usual, your host Ram will be there to cover and give you the first day's report on that particular Test match. From here, what I'm going to do is we'll go and see what's the cricket news today. Well, the cricket news that's coming in is coming in from Australia, where the Ashes Test is 5th of December. We have the first Test match, which is starting between Australia and England. And Tim Bresnan, as I rightly told you, Tim Bresnan, who did a very good job in the Performance 11, there's some information coming in that he might be getting a chance to play at the Adelaide Oval against Australia in the second Ashes Test. And Adelaide Oval, let me tell you, dear fans, friends, subscribers, it has been given an absolute facelift. As you know, Adelaide has always been a picturesque cricket ground. So what they have done is they have really given it a real facelift. And one can imagine if a facelift is given to an Adelaide cricket ground. Adelaide already is so picturesque when you see it on the telly. And well, if you after seeing that they have been given a facelift, you can just understand how beautiful that Adelaide Oval is being. I can't really wait for the second Ashes Test match to start. Not because Australia and England are clashing, but because it's a picturesque cricket ground. Adelaide Cricket Oval has been given a facelift, and I can't wait to watch that match at the Adelaide Oval. Well, from here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at any other cricket news, but I don't find anything else coming up, dear fans and subscribers. Always a pleasure to bring you this Cricket Happening show, especially considering the fact that you bunch of guys have been absolutely tremendous, giving that sort of support that Cricket Happenings needs. And what else can I expect from you, dear friends and subscribers? You guys rock, dear friends and subscribers. This is your host Ram, returning you back to the studios on this Cricket Happening show. See you tomorrow. Thank you.